Good morning, everyone. Ryan's not going to make it today. He had a death in the family, so he's not going to be able to come. I'm going to call to order. I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Elderly Affairs Committee. It is 8:35, and we'll do roll call. Let's see. Wait, we got one more coming in. Alexander Alonso. You here? Okay. Alex Ariano. Omaida Bopes. Asia Morris are going to be absent. Stephanie Cruz. She's absent. Marie Deming. Pedro Fiallo,
Here.
Jackie Levada. Ada McCarthy is absent. Maria Medros. Rosario Navarro. Dave Oliver. Nancy Rogers.
Here.
Michael Salem. Jessica Joseph. And Louis. Is it Louis Oliveria? He's new. I guess he's not gonna be here today. Okay. I know you just got your minutes, so if you could read over them, and then I make a motion, please.
Second.
Okay. That is Dave and Pedro. Is there additions, deletions, or corrections?
Yes.
Nancy.
Okay, buddy.
Nancy.
Okay, thank you. Nancy, you're gonna have to either come up
I
here.
got it.
I'll look up and speak.
All right, just stand up because we can't hear you over here.
Okay.
Hello.
Goodbye. On the item 3, corrections. On item 6, on the minutes, on item 6. I believe it is. Anyway, it's on the back page, page 6, on the back, item A, and a few of the other ones afterwards. There's comments and there's explanations or whatever, but there's no vote on any of these items. And I believe that if we want any of this stuff to continue or happen, there should be a vote. So for instance, 6A, renewed interest, and the Elderly Affairs is going to look into hosting its own event, but we never had a vote
We
on.
didn't vote on this.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't have a
We're just
vote.
saying what was brought up in the meeting.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So there's an action to be taken. The EAC will look to host its own event. There was comments, there was all sorts of conversation, but there was no vote as to whether there was enough interest.
Well, we
To
didn't vote on
have
it
it.
because I was gonna look into it before we vote. It's being brought to this meeting.
Okay,
So,
all right. And then the same thing with item B and whatever. So, and C. So we're looking into all these things, but we haven't voted on whether we want it or not. I just want to understand that.
yes, what it was, is Willie brought that up. He said that he was looking into these programs to support the seniors for the future. And he just wanted us to know what he was looking into. It
I
was
see.
nothing that we had to vote on.
I see.
If he finds them and he
Okay.
finds what he wants for us, then he'll bring it to us and we will vote on it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Public comments. Anybody, Alex? You want to give him?
Hello? Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
First and foremost, thank you for all that you do for the seniors. It is sincerely appreciated. Please take time to introduce yourselves. We no longer know all those that are on the committee, and it would be interesting to know who you are and the reason why you are nominated to the group. Also, know that the setup for these meetings makes it very difficult for the public because we can't see your faces as you are sitting on a U shape away from the camera, but worse yet, at times we can't even hear what you are saying. Does everyone have a microphone? Are these turned on? We would appreciate the review of these details so when we look at you live through our computers, that we can tell what is happening. Invited guests usually address you by standing at the end of the room, and that is where the camera is. From our homes, all we see is the back of their heads, and also at times have difficulty determining what is going on. Don't forget the pandemic keeps many at home and that the recording is part of public records. Therefore, these meetings should should consider the needs of the public. Thank you. There are two very important issues we want to address. First, Councilman Dieguez sent out an email where he spoke about the senior exemption. I questioned the process because Pedro Garcia, property appraiser, has worked very hard to accomplish that seniors that are low in income or have lived in their homes for over 25 years get additional tax relief. Vice Mayor Luis Collazo read my message and called the House to explain that the town of Miami Lakes has gone beyond and also provided relief. It would be ideal if this and how the calculation works is fully explained to the public and to the senior population. Councilman Dieguez went as far as volunteering to help seniors complete the financial disclosure forms that seem to be required to accomplish these accomplishments to help us age in place. Second, today the Mount Sinai project comes before you, probably to get you to buy into a project to be built at 154th Street and 87th Avenue. We are not only opposed to the project, but we want to go on record to say that on 8/3/2021, a high number of property owners showed up in opposition to their project during the Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Our issues: traffic. Imagine a hospital at that location, an ambulance taking us there, and traffic is such that a mile away from our homes, it would take close to a half an hour to navigate there. Bridges at 154th and 170th. A hospital situated there would bring further stress to open those bridges. Nuisance, sirens, horns. We live right there and already put up with so much noise. Eminent domain. As there is more stress on movement for us on the west side, every one of the property owners that are adjacent to the 154th fear that the future desire to widen the roads would entail the removal of our canopy and encroaching on our properties further through eminent domain. If you do not live on the west side, you may not realize the financial burden on properties. But every time there is an accident that impacts the perimeter walls, we end up paying for the repair and replacement of wall segments at the tune of $5,000 each, which increases our insurance costs and impacts our budgets to the detriment of assessments that continue to increase to cope with what is happening as a direct result of overbuilding in a town that is built almost to its limit. Thank you, and we shall be tuned in to hear your comments.
Thank you. Oh, you should put your name on the list in the beginning, but go ahead, Bonnie. Go ahead. She's going to see Jim. Hi, would you mind sitting over here? So, because I got some things I need for you to address for us. If you don't mind, thank you. Go ahead, Bonnie.
I just came because I thought you were going to be talking about this construction that might be happening at 154th and 87th. And then I was so happy to get this information that lays out a comparison of what it would be if you did not put an emergency clinic there and dental offices instead, if you had a big supermarket, etc. I don't know why either one would be good to have at that point, because of the inconvenience and the really the ruining of the quality of life of all the people who live out there in that area. There's Sartori and Lake Glen Ellen and several other communities that would be impacted negatively. Who said you even need a big supermarket out there? If it was going to be retail, a pharmacy, a few small shops, we already have a Winn-Dixie, a Publix, El Presidente is there on 135th Street, and then we have an Aldi, we have a Costco, we have so many markets that are huge, that are accessible to the people in Miami Lakes. And I don't think this town needs any more huge buildings and generating even more confusion and traffic and what have you. So I mean, I would be dead against any kind of big development out there, whether it be from Mount Sinai or whether it be another supermarket or what have you. It's just too much. This town was supposed to be a residential, small hometown USA, and we have grown so much, and it's very uncomfortable. And it's like a bait and switch. We bought here because we thought it would be a nice, quiet residential place. And instead it's a metropolis. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, we have a guest tonight, Alex Mendez. He is Executive VP for for Mount Sinai, excuse me. You want to come up first?
Sure.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alex Mendez. I'm the Executive Vice President at Mount Sinai Medical Center, and I'll go over here so that I could be seen and heard, hopefully. There should be a presentation, and I'm a healthcare worker, so out of respect, I always keep my mask on, but if you guys are comfortable, I'm vaccinated, and I'll take my mask off for a second. But I think you all may have a presentation that we prepared. If not, it's coming around. Mr. Fiallo is bringing it around. And what we tried to do here is really talk about sort of the different developments that were considered previously on this site. The site is currently zoned for a shopping center, and we wanted to point out the differences between traffic counts in a shopping center versus a medical enterprise. When we did our homework, there's about 100,000 emergency room visits that leave the area for predominantly Broward County. So when minutes count, people are voting with their feet and they're leaving the area. And so if fire rescue were to pick you up in the city or the town of Miami Lakes, more likely than not, you'll be taken to Palmetto Hospital. And if that's your choice, that's fine. We just want to be complimentary to the town of Miami Lakes. We want to be an option for the community. We have since downsized the proposal that we had back in August to only be a freestanding emergency department and a medical office building, along with some retail, because some of the neighboring communities wanted retail. And if you're following along in the presentation, on page 2, labeled Dunwoody Lakes Commercial Property Proposal, this is a proposal that was looked at many, many years ago, and it's something that is zoned currently for. It would produce about over 12,000 trips per day in terms of the development that would be allowable there. On slide 3, you could see the layout that was considered back, and again, almost 20 years ago. And on slide 4, you can see what our proposed development would generate, about 5,600 trips per day. Our medical/retail use produces 3 times less traffic than a full retail use, and that's demonstrated in these numbers. You can see on slide 5 that our freestanding emergency department, not a hospital, freestanding emergency department, as well as a medical office building where physicians will have offices in primary care, cardiology, urology, cardiac surgery, vascular surgery, peripheral vascular. So it's a medical home for those that choose to select a Mount Sinai physician, with some retail on the north side of the property. On slide 6, you could see the comparison between the first bar of 12,275 daily trips from the retail only component, and on the far right, which is our FSED or freestanding emergency department and MOB or medical office building, and retail at 5,639. You can also see on slide 7, our traffic engineers broke up the morning peak time, which is defined as 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., and the afternoon peak time, which is defined as 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. In a retail component, there's 434 visits during that peak time, 698 during the peak time in the afternoon. You could see that's in comparison to our proposed use of 263 visits in the morning peak time and 422 visits. So much less intense use. On slide 8, you can see a rendering of what we're proposing, which is in keeping with the style of Miami Lakes. Slide 9, another rendering. Slide 10, yet another rendering. And slide 11, yet another rendering. So again, just in summary, we've downsized our project pretty significantly from what we originally thought the community wanted. Obviously, hearing the opposition from the community of building a full-fledged hospital, we listened to that. This is a revised proposal. We have a very similar project in the city of Hialeah on the corner of West 60th and 20th Avenue, where we have a freestanding emergency department, physician offices, and a PACE center, which is being built, which is the basically an adult daycare facility that also meets the medical needs of that community. So we just want to be an option to the Miami Lakes residents to the extent that you choose other healthcare. That's totally acceptable to us. But again, there's 100,000 visits that leave the area for emergency room care every year. And when minutes count, we want to make sure we're there for the community and an option. So we certainly appreciate the time of the committee and everyone involved. And again, the reason we're here before you with a revised proposal is we heard the opposition that there was to a hospital, and it's our intent to be additive to the community, not negative to the community. So the question is, the 100,000 that I referenced earlier that leave the area, is that just from Miami Lakes? The answer to that is no, it's not just Miami Lakes, but it's about 80 to 90% Miami Lakes because we looked at the zip codes in the area. So again, think of your own and your neighbor's experience. When they can walk, talk, get in a car, call an Uber, and they need healthcare, the statistics from the Agency for Healthcare Administration overwhelmingly suggest that most people leave the area to go to Memorial System up in Broward County, which is not around the corner.
Well, I personally choose the Memorial System
And
because
that's fine.
I think it's a good one. And they have a close hospital in Miramar that's not too hard to get to at all. And it's just that we have so many choices in the area. We have urgent care clinics here in the town. Our paramedics, if it's an emergency and they come, are right there. You know, they're very
That's
on the
wonderful.
spot.
That's
And
wonderful. I'm just saying that we're an option. We would be an option to the extent that we build on this property. While Miramar is not far, it's not close either. And when minutes count in an emergency, I can tell you that it's very convenient to have an emergency room. We are not in urgent care. We are staffed 24/7, 365 days a year with board certified emergency room physicians. If you look at our facility in Hialeah, while a different community, I will tell you that that the community is very happy with that being an offering. And that's all it is. It's not an obligation. It's not a requirement that you visit our center. It's not a requirement that you see our doctors. But I will tell you that our cardiologists, our urologists, our cardiac surgeons, our vascular surgeons, they're all Columbia University affiliated. So we're the only one in South Florida
oh, you have
that
an
have-
excellent reputation.
have-
Mount Sinai.
that have an Ivy League affiliation. So again, we just want to be an option to the community. We don't want to build something that the community doesn't want. We certainly want to be a resource for the elderly community. By and large, we serve mostly elderly folks in Hialeah. We have a very similar freestanding emergency department in Aventura as well. And we obviously have the main campus at Miami Beach. To the extent someone comes to the emergency room, they need to be admitted, they choose to be admitted at Palmetto Hospital or Larkin Hospital or any other hospital, we honor those requirements or those commitments. So again, we just want to be an option in the community as we are in Hialeah, in Aventura, and Miami Beach. So again, we've tried to downsize this project to the point where we're comparing what we would project in terms of trips and burden to the community versus what is currently zoned there. And so tomorrow, if someone wanted to build what I pointed out was evaluated in 2002, as long as they go through the permitting process, they can build that. That's my only point.
Yeah.
Whether
Well-
you have El Presidente or whether you have, Sedanos or what have you, that's allowable to be built right now.
No one questioned the quality of Mount Sinai. That's without question. No, it was just the sirens, the noise.
I
even though
will tell you,
said-
just to address the siren issue, and the main campus is at 4300 Alton Road. 4300 Alton Road on Miami Beach is surrounded by homes that are in the $15-20 million range. I will tell you that fire rescue understands when they should and shouldn't use sirens. So at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, when there's no traffic, there's really no reason to use sirens. So again, in the communities that we currently serve, we have no complaints regarding siren usage. It's not an indiscriminate use of sirens, but I certainly respect your feelings.
Alexander, did you get something?
Good morning. My name is Alexandra Alonso and I sit on the committee. I kind of had put my thoughts together prior to coming to the meeting. First of all, thank you for coming today. We're grateful and thankful that Mount Sinai is interested to invest in our local healthcare. I've been in the medical field for over 20 years and I understand the importance of good medical care close to our home. We need better healthcare options, especially when it comes to local hospital options, as many residents from Northwest Dade are forced to drive to Broward. I myself, I have a lot of different physicians that I go to and I drive to Alton Road to see these doctors there, or my backup is going to the Memorial System in Broward. Personally, I feel that we do not need another urgent care. We need a full-blown hospital to serve not just Miami Lakes, but neighboring PSN, Hialeah, and Miami Gardens. My only concern is traffic and access to the facility. I know that you guys have done a very in-depth traffic analysis, but every time something comes up in Miami Lakes, whether it's an apartment building, a shopping center, whatever it is, our concern for traffic is continuously there. And I just really want to make sure that if this were to happen, that it would be a completely functional hospital.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mr.
everyone.
Mendez.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item on the list is comments from the chair. We have a new member, Jennifer. Joseph, you want to stand up so everybody can see? Jessica, excuse me. Jessica is a new member of our committee and she's works for Catholic Hospice. She has done, you want to give a little, yeah. She's been a sponsor for us for many of our events that we've had, and she was so interested in it, she decided to come and join our crew.
Now it's on.
Hello?
Thank you, Fiayo. As Dottie mentioned, my name is Jessica Joseph. I'm Manager of Philanthropy and Public Relations. I've been working for Catholic Hospice for 10 years now. So I've been involved in the Miami Lakes community ever since I even lived here for 20 years. I'm one of the ones that moved to Broward County, especially with the traffic situation, as Alex mentioned, being a resident here in Miami Lakes, I loved it. Beautiful town, kids grew up here. I know a lot of the members here that work in the town council, but one of the reasons why we left was the traffic. I live down the street from Miramar Hospital, as a matter of fact. Listening to Mr. Mendez, I think I agree. We do need a healthcare system here as well. But again, that's up to the choice, of course, to the town and everyone else. But thank you for having me here. As Dottie said, we are involved in the community. And I look forward to working with everyone here. So thank you for having me and nominating me. So I enjoy, hopefully get to know everyone here as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another new member. Is the gentleman in the back, are you Lewis? You would come up. I haven't met you. Are you Luis Otero? Suarez. You haven't been sworn in yet, have you?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here in Miami Lake today. Sorry for the delay. There's a lot of traffic here in Miami. Well, for me, it's a great honor to be part of the committee. I'm a president and a chief curator for Suarez Museum of Natural Science and History. And also I'm ambassador from Galapagos Island. Well, when the mayor told me about this position, for me was very excited, and trying to see what can I do or what can I help with the city of Miami Lake. And I want to say, all you guys, thank you for accepting this committee, and God bless you all. Looking forward to work with you guys.
Thank you. If you could stay after the meeting, I'd like to meet you. Usually I meet them before, but I got a note you were going to be here today, but I wasn't sure it was you. So if you could stay after, I'd just like to talk to you for a minute or two. If you can. If you can't,
I said, what? Sorry?
if you could connect after the meeting with me,
Yes,
I'd like to meet you
yes. no
because
problem.
I didn't have your name on my list. Okay, thank you. And we do have a new liaison in the town for our committee. Isle Pastora, if I get that right. You want to stand up and tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Hi, yes, my name is Isle. I previously worked for a nonprofit in the community, so very excited to continue being in the community, but at a more local level. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. I think by now you might have received my emails.
Isle has taken Willie's place. Willie's moved on to something bigger and better. Yeah, he's still working for the town, but he's got a different position. I can't remember the title. I think he's taking care of getting us all sponsors and things like that. I don't know what that title is though. It's AISLE. Yeah. That's AISLE. AISLE. Pastora. PASTORA. Okay. Okay, moving on. Under old bit, there is comments from the chair, but I'm going to move down a little bit. Old business, our Mount Sinai update that we're working on in Miami Lake Sun. We're coming into a few problems with it. The date we had planned was the date of the Veterans Day Parade. And having two events the same day in the same area, no way. I wouldn't even try it. So we're going to try to find another date and see when we can move on with this. I'll have more information at the next meeting. New business. All right, budget for 21-22. I was at a budget meeting this past, I think it was last Wednesday. And I thought it was going to be for the chairs. I never heard of the first meeting, so I went to the second meeting, and it was a little bit of everything. We were allowed to get up because I was trying to find out if we got what our budget was and how much we got and all that. And it appears that I got to talk to Mr. Peterman for the first time, and we got $1,000. That was like a slap in the face. I'm sorry. I'm going to let everything out today. I think we really never had a chance to defend ourselves. not only our committee, the Veterans Committee, and Nancy's committee, the Public Safety. They gave opportunity for us to, at the end, to come up and speak. The Veterans Committee really needed the money. I mean, they needed it. And so did Nancy. She was trying to have breakfast for all the first responders in the area, which that was definitely needed. We need to recognize them and we need to appreciate them. After hearing the two of them, I decided not to go up and talk because I thought, we've got money, we need more. We're gonna have to work harder on sponsorships this year. And nobody knows what a tough job that is. The thing that got me the most with the committee is the meeting was before the meeting, they were going over how they're going to rate the employees for their raises and their bonuses. And they have like exceeding, they have middle class, and then the ones that are not performing. And they're going back and forth and all over that. And then after I was told that I was only getting $1,000 when I asked for more money, mostly for the lunches for the seniors, I said, my goodness, I'm not doing my job. I'm in the last class there is. If they're rating us, and I don't know how they rate who they give the money to, but I was really insulted. I'm saying it out loud. I worried about it all weekend, and I'm going to say how I feel. Not only that, first of all, we weren't given a copy of our budget. I've asked for it last year and this year, and I have yet to receive one. Don't know why. Maybe it hasn't been approved. I don't know. If you're going to tell me you're going to give me $1,000, well, I think it should be in writing somewhere. So I just don't know where we're going with this all. Usually it's very upfront and all. And I'll tell you, the three committees that got hit the hardest were the ones that work the hardest. And not only that, most of us put our own money into those committees. And I know that for a fact. So I don't know, maybe we're hurting the committee by doing extra for whoever we're serving, but I don't have the money to do it for them. I don't know where to go. But I wanted my committee to know where I stand with this going forth, and we'll just have to see what happens. Yes. Give her the mic. Speak the mic then.
From the monies that you requested that were like 14, right?
Pardon?
Hello?
Yeah, there.
Hi, Rosario Navarro. From all the monies that you requested that were like 14,
Yeah.
they gave you $1,000?
We got $1,000, and I got it with a smile on their face.
Okay, then we have to vote different. We go to the polls.
No, they gave us $1,000 more.
More.
And what they don't understand is we started serving 80 people with our lunches. We are now serving 160. Shh, pardon? Well, our budget in the past has been, I think, still around 32,000. And that covered our lunches, our field trips, the forms that the doctors came in and talked. We have a program called Rock Boxing for the Parkinson disease. We have to put money in for freebie, which no other committee does. And every senior, everybody in the city can use it. So I didn't understand it, and I didn't get an explanation from it. I even contacted one of the councilmen for a meeting, and I texted them, and they said this afternoon. I have yet to hear from them. So I don't know what they're trying to tell me. I would like to have a meeting with somebody to tell me what's going on, what is going on. So right now, I have not seen the budget, so I can't share it to you where they put I did ask what category did you put the $1,000 in? Because I want to know which one they upgraded. They didn't even give me something that was upgraded. They took something that was from 2018 that I had on the agenda, or 2019 that I had on the agenda that we couldn't use. So they put it on this time and we still can't use it. We can move it over at a later date, but in the past, they've always had the chairs together. And we talked about what we need, the agendas we needed. And if there was a meeting on it, I was not informed. I heard about this second meeting, I came and I was so disappointed. So we're just gonna have to work harder this year. I can't work much harder than I'm working. So if anybody's got any advice, let me know. Yes, Michael. Yes, I'm thinking it's in the 30s. I think it was 32. Oh, yes, we did. We wanted to increase the budget for the meals. I think we had 7,000. We were increasing it to 14 because of the number of the people that we were serving. Everything else was sort of the same. The only thing I increased was for the meals because you don't know how many compliments, how many smiles we get, how many people that call me at home, send me a text. Thank you for being for us because nobody else is. And I'm so proud of this committee and I'm proud to be on it. And I just don't know. I just don't think that I had one person on that council behind us last week. And that's how I feel. And you know me, I hardly ever say anything, but I was mad. So, yes, Nancy, I'm sorry.
On behalf of the council, I have to say, possibly what they were thinking was that we've got this money. Mostly the meals drive-through came about because of COVID. And hopefully, with all the seniors vaccinated and whatever, perhaps they're assuming that the COVID situation will diminish a bit. And that's why you got the 1,000 plus. There's so many sponsor options and that type of thing. And the only thing I'm saying is that I have heard feedback that there are some people on this program that are taking advantage. They're going to the doctors, they're going shopping at Publix, they're doing all sorts of stuff, and yet they stay home for 2 meals a month. So to have increased the budget, perhaps the council may have felt that it was being abused. And my suggestion is, I agree, the people, they're elderly, they're going to get older next year regardless of COVID, and they may want to stay home, and rightfully so. I support that. However, maybe we could have them re-register each year or go through some kind of a process. And I know it's awful to say, but identify or diminish some of those who are taking advantage, because there is rumblings. I'm hearing them, Dottie. And I don't blame you the other day for feeling the way you did and leaving the budget meeting, but
Well, you got rewarded for it. I didn't.
I'm sorry.
You got your money. that
I
you
wasn't
needed.
going to get my money, and that's why I got up and spoke. So it was an advantage for me. And I'm just saying that perhaps if we could maybe revise the plan a bit, because I'm hearing rumblings from the public. Thank you.
Well, if you're hearing rumbling from, why is it just now that I'm hearing about it? I have not heard of any rumbling, and I know, Nancy, you're the chair of another committee. And that is what I have a problem. If you chair to chair, you should have brought that up to me. But the people, I know almost every single senior on the list, except for maybe the last, out of the 150 some, maybe the last 10 that have come in, I haven't met yet. But the most, every one of them have been faithful to us since the very beginning. So if the new ones coming in are being abusive, then we need to know about that. And you're on our committee, you should let me know. Besides the meeting.
Okay, and I didn't hear about it until after you left the meeting, and I stayed quiet because I thought you were going to get up and speak. When you left, I was surprised. So I didn't have the opportunity to hear what you had to say. And then I would have spoken up afterwards with you and supported you, because I do support the plan. I support this committee, and I wouldn't be on it if I didn't support it. Don't scold me for not talking to you about something that I expected you to talk about.
Thank you for your comments.
You're welcome.
Yes, Rosario.
Okay, I don't understand what Nancy's saying because
Turn your mic on.
now? Okay, I don't understand what Nancy's saying because there's no low-income people taking advantage of anything here. Either you're a senior and you get to participate or you don't. It's not a, but that's what you said though. You said taking advantage.
Okay.
And I think as our community grows older, which
You're gonna
me,
have
myself,
more. They're gonna have more.
pay taxes in this community, they deserve the treat.
I agree with you. And most of the every one of them I know that I have dealt with since I've been on this committee, and I've been on this committee since 2008. They all are seniors that really need it.
That's like if everybody
And
said,
it's not just needing it, because a lot of them, because of how many we have, the freebie can't serve all the ones. We have like 46 are homebound. The freebie can't serve that many people. They can only serve so many people, because if you give them too many, then the food could spoil. So we have, I don't know how many, 4 or 5 or 6 ladies that deliver to their neighborhood.
yeah,
And
for
I
free.
know all those people, they're in need. Most of them are really desperate for not only the food, but for somebody looking at them and saying, hello, I am here from the Elderly Affairs Committee. And they stop and they listen. They call me and tell me about all their conversations. And it breaks my heart that these people don't have anybody but us. So I think what we're doing is a fantastic job. And I have not any recognition from the town whatsoever on what we're doing.
Well, I think
I
it's
probably
like
will get
if I
some now,
say,
but
I don't have small children, so I don't want to give any of my tax dollars to anything that belongs to the children. That doesn't make any sense. Eventually, we're all gonna get old and we all need it.
okay.
I don't need a microphone. I'm Cuban.
Be kind, be kind
For the recording.
for the recording. Yes, you did need it.
I'm sure they can hear me. Anyways, why are we growing twice as many people as we used to serve? As I understand,
They're
there's
getting older.
21 of us in this committee, but I don't see 21 of us working.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so
We
much.
know. So why are we making, more people, twice as much as we used to serve? We're not the government. We're not God. We have limitations. What happens is our budget then it shrinks because you're serving more and the town is not going to give us more. So we have to also look at this part. It's nice to be generous, but we have a limitation.
I agree with you. The thing is, we have every day people get older. So that's how come we're getting more. And I think it's because we're doing such a fantastic job. People want to be a part of our committee. What we do need is this committee to step up. I have you, Pedro, Jackie, Rosaria, that are there all the time for me. And there's Sarah too. But there's other people in the committee that are here, but they come to the meetings, we know that needs to be addressed because you're supposed to do 50% of the events. So we're all gonna have to step up and do our job. Okay. Well, that's the other thing. Nobody knows how hard it is to get a sponsor, to go out there, and it's almost like begging. Yeah, it is begging. And that plus everything else we're doing, it's difficult, it is difficult. But that's what we're going to have to do for the coming up the next year. So we need to get off this subject and move on. But baseball, we don't contribute anything to baseball. Nothing. We don't. They have their own little group. They do anything. Okay. On November 3rd, Mount Sinai is going to have a Zoom forum. We're working on it. they're gonna be 2 doctors on heart and blood pressure. Isle, do you have any information on that? On the form on November the 3rd with Mount Sinai, have we connected and give them the information they need for that? Okay.
Yeah, I'll be connecting with them today and I'll be giving them the Zoom information so that they're going to be creating a flyer for us to circulate it.
Okay, so we'll be getting that out to the community.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Yes, Alex.
I just got this. Are we going back to senior socials?
Okay, that's another thing. The mayor's telling everybody it's up to me. As the seniors go to them and he says it's up to Dottie. My opinion right now is I don't want to. We used to have, like we've said, a little group of maybe 80 that come. Now these people know us, they're all gonna wanna come. How many people who are we gonna say can come, who can't come?
First come, first serve.
But then how do you plan for your food? You know, you have to have, there's so many things involved in here that people don't realize. And I wanted to continue what we're doing until the first of the year. I'm hoping by then things will get better and then we'll have to just play it by ear on how we're gonna do it. I don't know, that's my opinion. If anybody on the committee wants to do something better. Yes, Alexandra.
My opinion, just we can restart the socials and let's limit, use Eventbrite, how we used to use Eventbrite, cap it, we set a number, the committee votes on a number, and we start doing the socials again.
All right, and then I'm gonna let you run it because.
I will gladly
Now, wait a-
help.
Now, wait a minute. Once we start having the socials at Mary Collins or the other, we have to open it up for anybody, Hialeah, Palm Springs North. And you don't know how many people from those that used to attend our bingo.
Dottie, we can set a date, we can say, the tickets will go on sale on such and such a date. If they have to go through the whole reservation process, they have to get in the system, they have to book it. And if they didn't do it by a certain time, they lost
then-
their chance.
And then any Miami Lake resident senior, I'm gonna send them to you.
No problem.
Okay, and you're gonna run it.
I will help.
Okay, thank you. So when do you want to start this? Because you've overruled me, so when do you want to start it on?
I have not overruled you.
I know
I'm
what- I
just
know
giving
what
you
you're
my
saying.
opinion because they want to get back into their social events. So October, November to basically plan with time and set a date.
I haven't given the town my dates on anything yet.
Okay.
So when I get it, I'll let you know. And then if they want it opened up, then I don't know how the rest of you vote on it. How many of you would like to see it opened up? You want it open? Everybody wants it opened up? Okay, we'll open it up then. I will get with you, Isle, on that. Huh? I know we do, but it's so hard with the scheduling of that, of the Mary Collins Center. Getting the food, getting the enough food. My budget's there're gonna be more food now. So things are gonna be different.
Are we going to now have the senior socials at Mary Collins rather than Royal Oaks?
I have no idea. I don't know how they've planned it.
Okay,
I don't know. They have not, that information has not come up yet.
because Royal Oaks was perfect.
I know, but I know they got for the bingo, we can't because they got schools over there. One of the schools has the like the after daycare, and then they got something early in the morning. They get different classes over there. I think they had. I don't know if that's changed since school started or not. Last year they before the virus, they had classes over there. That's why we could never use Royal Oaks. We did use it for our socials. I will have to work with Isle on that to get it when we do have a social. Thanksgiving's going to be hard. So with all that said, now the 46 people that are having meals delivered, what are we going to do with them? They can't come play bingo because they are really handicapped and at home. That was another part of my story that I was concerned about. All right, I can serve you here that are healthy and good and can come play bingo, but you 46 over here that can't do any of that. And Freebie can't serve you all the meals unless they do 2 trips. And depending on what I have, is it going to spoil or not? It's not that I don't want to open it up. I do. It would be so much easier. But how do I service all the seniors that we have committed to?
The homebound before, how did we?
We didn't have as many. And a lot of those that came to the bingo are now homebound. Because of the virus, they've gotten sick, they need help. I mean, you don't know what I see. I mean, I can tell you, I don't know how many I know that used to come play bingo every time will not be able to come back and play bingo because they are really homebound now.
But I remember when we started going to their houses, some of these people don't look like they need a meal. They
Well,
have a
that
$2
was-
million house.
That was before Oneida. I have I have visited some of them. Like I'll take a meal. I'll take 2 meals this time. I'll save them aside and I'll go visit them just to see, do these people really need this? And everyone I visited does.
Gloria, she's getting 3 meals a day. She's giving it out to
Well, see-
everybody. And she still wants me to take her that food twice
am
a week,
taking-
and twice a month.
I am taking Gloria. You don't serve Gloria anymore. I'm dealing with that. I am dealing with that. I know I'm dealing with that issue.
She couldn't put it in the refrigerator.
I think we need a new chair.
It's ridiculous.
Put your turn it on. Right next one. In the middle. The light.
Maria Mederos, there's a couple of things that I'm kind of listening to here. I think there's a complete dissociation. A couple of things. Nancy, I heard what you said, and I appreciate your input, but for me as a listener, you're in the Elderly Affairs Committee right now. And when you stand there and you say, I somewhat speak in regards to the council, well, unless you're bringing that information that they actually said to you, I think that's not needed. It is very difficult when we serve multiple places because we have to put our hat, you're the elderly, so you have to do elderly. You go into the, okay. So I think your input is needed, okay? But I think it's important that we kind of bring in only what is a fact. And if we're bringing in something from another committee, I think that then that has to be 100% concrete. And I'll answer whatever questions you have. As far as the opening up, I'm a nurse practitioner and I do homebound patients primary care. Okay. The need of opening up is very important because our elderlies are dying because they're in social isolation in their homes. Okay, so yes, that pandemic is not going to go away because this year was COVID, next year will be Budweiser, then it will be Miller, then it will be, they're here for us. So we have to learn to somewhat learn to live with what we have and move forward because the elderly are really suffering. Now, having said that, there's also 2 different issues. We have the issues of the ones that can't come to the socials, can't come to bingo, can't come to eating. And then we have the homebounds. True homebounds, okay, need to be addressed in a different manner. They're not supposed to be lumped in with the ones who are still functioning, whether it be by walkers, whether it be by canes, or whatever the sources are. So we can't just stick everybody into one little muscle and feed it like that. So they have to be, does that mean, and also a committee is here for, I think, for helping the community, but also as an elderly affairs committee or any committee, we have to be able to delegate it to the appropriate resources. Okay, when somebody has reached a homebound that cannot be
fed, or they cannot be taken at home. They cannot be part of just a certain protocol. We have to send them out into a different, as painful as it is. And I, as a primary care physician, sometimes have to send my patients to an ALF or to a hospice because it is beyond my reach of help. So I think that should be important. Our main focus should be first to serve the community, but we have to work together and into, where do they each belong? The fact that, we got less, yes, you're opening up another more things to do. There has to be more of a budget. Well, then that has to go back to the council, because all of us in the pandemic, everybody kind of scaled down into Zoom and everything and open up again. So we all have to try to find our new normal with it, but we have to work as a team to it, and isolate what are the different problems, within. And you're right, the more and more this is happening, the more and more people that are going to be either afraid to come out or they're going to be homebound. And guess what? Then the families are going to have to take care of, but we can't take care of everyone. So we have to, again, it's not a cookie cutter. Everybody has to be put in a particular, but again, there are different issues that have to be served in different ways. But I think as a whole, we have to work together, and is it an easy task? It isn't. You guys are doing great, and it's not an easy task. But the more we get, the more issues we get coming to us, the more we have to change the strategies and change the way we approach them. And that's my take in all of it. I think everything has a valid point, but it's not about fighting with each other in different points of view. It's finding, how to work differently in a new form of now world. Do you have any?
Yes, I do, because you opened the door and I'm going to speak about it if you don't mind.
Somebody else had
For
their hand up.
clarification. She already gave me the go-ahead to respond, if you don't mind. So to respond, if you're listening, Dottie, to respond, for clarification, I have no problem with the drive-throughs. I'm only telling you what I heard. And Omaida confirmed that we were hearing stories about people. And I was suggesting that maybe there be a review. However the committee handles it, I'll go along with it. I was only bringing it up for clarification, number one. Number two, you brought up the fact that I wear two hats. Yes, I do. And as chairperson of the Public Safety Committee, I sat in that corner and waited my turn to speak up. I wasn't going to speak up. I was ready to do what Dottie did and walk out. And I thought, if I don't speak up, I'll lose my chance. When Councilman Vice Mayor Collazo gave up $33,000 of the council's expenditure money, that's how I got my money. And had you stayed, I would have stood up after you spoke as a member of the Elderly Affairs Committee, and I would have supported you. And I still support you in everything this committee does. So I don't want anybody to walk out of here thinking that I wasn't going to speak up on behalf of this committee that I've been on for 14 or 15 years. And Dottie, I'm only 4 months behind you. So you know the exact amount of years that I've been a member. And I'm proud to be a member of this committee, and I support it. But I don't want anybody to think for 1 minute that I don't agree. And I only wish, and I'm hoping that with that $33,000, and they gave some to everybody, but not all of it, I think there's possibly, I would look into explaining that you need more money because you do have more people. They needed to hear that.
Well,
And it was not my place because I wasn't the chair. I would have backed you up because I saw you
right.
sitting there and thought you were going to talk.
let
Dottie.
me explain one thing to you. I sat there and I listened to you talk. I sit there and I listened to the veterans talk. I listened for what you guys needed. And I thought that was more important. So that's why I didn't, because if I'd got up and I just spoke, we'd have had to split it 3 ways, and there wasn't enough money to split 3 ways from what they were offering. So that's the only reason why I didn't get up and speak.
Okay, so
That's
you made
that.
your
I just
point
want you to
clear.
know, I
That's
wanted to.
great. I understand now, but you made your point clear. I wanted to make my position clear, especially because it was brought up by both of you. So thank you for listening.
Okay. Michael, you had a question?
Having said that, I also know that 3 years ago, when I first sponsored a couple of events for you last year.
I know
and
you
the
have, and I
years
thank you
before,
for that.
we were the ones who talked about the homebound seniors. It was way before COVID came into effect. And I know I spoke to Alexandra in the past as well on the same issue. So we felt like that there's a population that's been underserved. And we did a great job. But as you said, people are getting old. I know in my own neighborhood, 3 seniors that we used to serve, they died within 3 or 4 months span. So we know we're losing people, but at the same token, we know 4 others have added on the roster. So I agree with you that we do have a greater population homebound, and COVID had exacerbated this whole situation in the sense that there are more people are homebound, they're not coming out. So I think that funding is important. I will look into some of the options of funding. I'll write some grant applications. I've spoken to Commissioner just now, and we're going to look into some sources for you to help out. Although these are grant money, so we have to write a proposal. It may not be anything that I can confirm that we will receive it, but we hope to receive it. But solid funding from the town of Miami-Dade is something I always support, because that's the money that can go to coffers for our people. The only difference is that the money we get from commissioners or any other funding source, they have to open up to everybody, which may include Palm Springs North, seniors from Hialeah, and other surrounding communities.
Okay, thank you. I don't want anybody to get the impression I don't want to open up. I want to open up so bad. But if you would hear the comments that I get from the seniors that we're delivering, it's so nice to see a friendly face at my door delivering a meal. Thank you so much. The Elderly Affairs Committee are angels. I mean, I get these comments all the time. I want to open it up. I just don't know how to service the 46 people that really, really need somebody to talk to them and say, here's a lunch for you. How you doing today? Tell them what's going on in the world. I mean, I don't know how to do that. And if anybody wants to come and talk to me afterwards, we'll bring it up at the next meeting. We'll discuss it. I'll make a plan. I'm willing to do anything because I really want to open up. I love seeing their faces and watching them be happy. And oh, I won the big, I got a guy that called me, he was a homebound. He called me on, Dottie, I can't believe it. I said, what happened? I knew his girlfriend moved away next door. So I thought, oh my gosh, he's lonely or something. But it was so funny. He said, thank you so much for the meal. And I won a prize. I can't believe it. I won a prize. He was so, that made his day. And it made me feel good that somebody can't, and he can't get out. He's okay. He just can't get out with the virus. So think up a plan. All you want to think up a plan. Maybe I can have a subcommittee meeting. So, because I know people have to go to work and all, we can put something together for the next meeting. I will do anything to make it work. Anything. Yes.
The outside in the heat, and then later on, we have to go to their homes to do deliveries. Because the freebie cannot-
I know. So that's what I'm saying.
I go to these houses, to these people that are happy to see you, and they have children. That's the saddest part.
That don't do anything for them.
They have children, and their children. I remember that lady that we used to call before we went to her house, and her phone was off for a week, and her son lives in West Palm Beach. Your mother lives alone. She's old, and I don't understand because I was with my parents at the minute they died.
Well, today's environment is different. We've got a lot more on the agenda here, so let's. The next thing, just thought I'd all let you know, there's working on the opening up the senior village. I think you all seen it in the Laker and all. It looks nice. Don't know much about it, but that's something for the seniors to look forward to. And that, I don't know how that's going to affect us. Yes.
I was listening to the council meeting and I heard somebody on the council say that they don't have the money to build out the empty shell for the seniors.
I missed that.
Okay, I'm just saying
No.
what I heard.
So what they're saying is that the ones
You
that go
will
over
have
to
a
that.
shell. Yeah, but you will not have any interior. That's what they're saying.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they're slowly but surely getting rid of this. The traveling bingo, I was gonna continue it, but I don't know if I am now or not. I'm gonna have to see what we can work out. Thanksgiving would have been so much easier to do because they drive by, we have Thanksgiving, we congratulate them, we bring out the one sponsor I have goes to the house, all the people in his office deliver the turkey dinners. But if we're gonna go back to the other way, it's not gonna work out. I don't know how it's gonna work out. I gotta go back to the drawing board. And if anybody wants to join me, I don't know if I can do this off record, if I have to have a committee or what to do this. Do you know, Al?
Are you asking me if you can create a subcommittee?
Well, I'm saying they want us to start opening up October.
Okay.
All right. I need some help on how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to service the people that can't, and then open it up for not all the people that we're servicing now are going to be able to go, because once you open it up, they tell their friends, come on, let's go. And you're going to have Hialeah, Palm Springs North, all the other ones in there too, and some of our people are going to be left out. And who are they going to come back to? They're getting our lunches. I'm not going to get my lunch. And this has happened to me.
Well, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys decide that you need a subcommittee to work out and iron out the details, you
Okay.
obviously can do so, just vote on it. And then I will give you guys availability dates, times that you can meet together to iron out those details.
Okay, so, yes, Nancy.
I know that we've had one or two occasions here. And what I'm getting at is for Thanksgiving, you still do a Thanksgiving drive-through for your shut-in.
I was planning on that for this year,
Right.
but if we open it up, I'd probably have to do it.
I wouldn't open it up. I would do that with a special Thanksgiving meal with your drive-throughs, right? And then perhaps for the town residents, somewhere, whether it be here, because I don't recall what the capacity is here, number one. And number two, I know we've got pictures. You and I were serving something in this building. So I got the
Well, on our
pictures.
forms, we did,
Could
but
we
we've never
do
had a
a-
big meal. We've never had a big lunch in here, like a Thanksgiving, a Christmas, any big party we've never
We
had.
did do something with food, though.
Well, yes, we always
I
had
can't
food with
remember.
our forums.
I
like,
see,
no,
I
when-
see. So this would not be adequate
Oh, no.
here. We've, maybe we could come up with
It's not
some
just- it's-
building in the town just for residents. I'm not that familiar with different places, but some of them have conference rooms or halls, or we as a committee can try to find a venue is what I'm getting at, I guess. And we all think about it and contact people. Maybe, because we got to hope for this. That's what Thanksgiving is all about. So I will do what I can in that regard and try to come up with something. That's okay. If we
Yes,
agree
ma'am.
to do it.
Subcommittee and be involved in the subcommittee. If you feel that we need some more time, maybe stick with the Thanksgiving plan. And then we plan our first social for our holiday social in December. Just
How
a
does- How does
suggestion.
everybody feel about that? All right, we're gonna do Thanksgiving, but we still, we have October, we were gonna do a, like we did last year. They drive by, but they had costumes on and we gave prizes. Now I don't know how, I've got to go back to the drawing board because last year we had merged all our money together and we did it in the food. Now I gotta go back, I just got this. I gotta go back and see how many meals I can serve. Like, we were serving 2 a month. Now maybe I can only serve 1 a month. I don't know. I've got to go back and rework all of this. So, yes. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I make a motion
Yes.
to create a subcommittee to give us property, to organize this property with time and to figure out how we can reopen our socials And at the same time, not forget about our homebound residents that we have at home.
Okay. Who here wants to be on that subcommittee? Okay. Okay. All right, I'll call the names out. You write it down. All right. You got Alexander. You've got Jessica. She's got you, Nancy. And Michael Salem. Yeah.
So it's Mike, Alexandra, Nancy, Jessica.
She's got her Jackie. You have to go in and sign up today, okay? Get you sworn in. Because yes, you have to do that before you can participate. It's all right, you come and listen, but to be a participate in the next meeting, you have to be sworn in. Okay.
Yes, and
Because when Dade County, from what I was told, when Dade County deeded the property over to Miami Lakes, we could refuse nobody. The only place that we're safe is in here. And it's not that we don't want them, but we want to service our own people first. So,
Motion to adjourn.
there was some conversation in it. Yeah. So, I'll send out a date to I got to get with the town to find out when I can have a room, and I'll send out a date to you all. And I prefer mornings. I don't know how you all prefer. I like to get it out the first thing in the day. Is that all right with you, Jessica? Okay. All right. There was one other thing I need to add to the new business, if everybody will approve it. It's called Rocksteady Boxing. And we've had this on our list for probably the last 3 or 4 years. We got it all set. We're working with Shula's on it. It's for people with Parkinson's disease. And it's a boxing program that seems to help the coordination with it. Last year, was it last year? It was either 20 or 20, I think we sent 3 guys to get certified in it, somewhere over in Sarasota. Then the virus came. Well, they're going to starting the program up again. We're supposed to have them. I'm supposed to meet with them sometime next week, I think it is, to have the full program, because it's supposed to start in November. And I don't know how we're going to get the message out to our people in the town. Do you know, are they going to have a flyer or something?
Yeah, social media is always an option to you guys, so we can create flyers and have registration links and all that online.
Okay, because when we first started out with the program, Miami Lakes residents were going to be free. And then, because this program, when it started out, it was a tropical part, and people were coming as far as Hollywood to go over there for it. So what we thought was we would go and we would do it for free for our residents and charge the people that were coming in. I don't think that's been ironed out yet. I think there was some kind of in the meeting, they were going to charge a very small fee for us. It's like, so I think it's more to say, I'm coming, I can go anytime I want. You be on a program and continue it. And sometimes if you don't have something in the game, you come when you feel like it. So that's still being worked out too. So I think we have another meeting coming up.
Yeah, and I believe they spoke about, it can't just be anybody. They have to do an assessment, and the person has to qualify for the program.
Yeah, they have to qualify. You have an application, you got to qualify for the program.
And I think qualification means that they have Parkinson's, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they have to have a medical, didn't they say?
Yeah,
from a
exactly. They're
doctor
going to have
saying
you
that they
fill
have
out
it?
a medical form. It's
Right.
not going to be open up
Correct.
to everyone.
And I think it's going to be a good program, because there are some people in Miami Lakes, seniors I know, that have Parkinson's. So I think it will be good. As soon as we can get that notice out to them, that'll be great. So under announcements, I've gotten some, I'm sorry, we've never gone this long. I've gotten 2 announcements that were passed on to me by my previous liaison, and I think you got a copy of them. I have not checked into them. The lady wants me to call her, but I want to talk to you before I do. It's from FIU. It says, in a nutshell, our program provides free home center care by ways of sending a team of students, medical, nursing, social workers, and law and licensed facilities into the home of the communities we serve. I don't know if we want to be a part of this or not. I don't know. I think, first of all, we should get legal advice on this before we even get started in it. Because somebody, I know there are doctors and all going into some of our house. Is there any liability on us? I think we need to check all that out. So do you have this copy, don't you? If not, I'll give it to you and you can check into that.
Okay, in regards to that, when I went through the FIU program in geriatrics, okay, part of our school was to go out in the community.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was. It was part of our, it was part of our hours of our internship. Okay, you can call it residency, internship, whatever it was. So we would actually have to go into the patients, and we were being supervised by our professors. Okay, so that was part of, you know, and even as a nurse, we would go out into the community as well.
So you think this would be
I think this
a
is,
good program?
this is one of the ways of the avenues that you will not leave your homebound, your true homebounds completely to the left side. I think this is a good thing for you to look into, because again, these are people that are in the program who have already X amount of a year or two in a program, but they need the hours. So I think that's something that would help.
And just to get legal advice on it too, before, you know, by bringing them in, do we have any liability for somebody going into their home?
Yeah.
I know they probably we don't, but I just think we need to have legal advice on that.
Yeah, we can double check that.
Okay. The other thing we have here, it's the Miami-Dade County Emergency Evacuation Assistance Program. And they, if we have seniors that want to be evacuated, they have to sign up for it. I don't know if, my suggestion would be is to, in our next luncheon, copy this and put it in everybody's luncheon where they themselves can call, sign up and get it done. So we just get ourselves out. We're giving you the information. It's up to you to, if you need assistance, to act on it. How does everybody feel about that? Yes, Michael.
The mental health task force that was formed back in 2020. I represented that all throughout, and a couple of weeks ago, we submitted our recommendations to the town council. And one of the recommendation was for the formation of a mental health task force to continue that process, because it was coming to a sunset this month. The recommendation included formation of a task force which comprised of individuals from different background, and you can look up on that task force report that I prepared. Not to mention that we also recommended the task force should be tasked with the responsibility to ensure that referrals coming in from different sources like law enforcement or senior services, whatever that may be, different groups, they are going to be maintaining those statistics in terms of connecting those individuals to different provider sources where they can get the mental health services as they need appropriate. We are not a service provider as a committee. We will be tasked to continue to refer them to different sources wherever applicable source may be, like private sector or nonprofit groups or any other funded program, so they can get the resources or services they need. And last but not the least, we will provide that information to the town council on a monthly basis that how the program is working. This will be a 3-year goal to see how the committee functions. And after 3 years, this town council's discretion to continue this committee or put it to a sunset. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Dottie, if you don't mind, I have a question.
Yes.
I thought I was going to put in announcements. It should have been up on new business, but nevertheless, did I understand you correctly to say that you had been asking for our current budget and whatever, and didn't have it? By any chance, is there any way of finding out how much monies we've got left in the budget because October 1st starts the new one.
That's
So
what
how
I
much
had
are
been
we?
trying to find
The
out because I
magical
want to
question
spend it before
is
the
how
end.
much are we leaving on the table? Because if we had known that today, we would have been able to move funds, let's say from something else to put it towards your meals, and you could do your end of the year, whatever you want to do, or extra bingo, if we had that figure. And is it possible to make a motion now in advance that if there is any money going to be left on the table, that we can move it to, and you would possibly know where you would want it moved to, because
They
I
won't let
hate
us.
leaving money on the
They will
table.
not let us.
We can't do that today.
We cannot move it to, I mean, in the past, we could not move it over. Like, I have to have it spent by September the 30th or
Yeah,
31st.
at
You
this
have to have
point,
it
it would be too late, and I
spent.
just want to remind you guys that you guys are no longer at quorum because somebody stepped out, so you wouldn't even be able to vote on it, just so you're.
I'm
aware.
having a hard time understanding. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody walked out, so you no
Okay.
longer have
Well,
quorum
this is
to
just-
vote.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
this
just-
is fine.
yeah.
But just in terms of voting and
Yeah.
spending money and stuff like that, we can't do. But yeah, at this point, you're very late into,
We're done.
yeah, the year is pretty much done.
But Nancy, the thing is, I figured the last luncheon to what I thought I had maybe $50 left. I don't know because I was not being given the budget every month to be able to work with. But I tried to keep track of everything. If there's something I wasn't aware of, it could be in there. I don't know. And what I thought I would do is buy gift cards. We can give them out at the luncheons next year. So if you can get me that figure, if we have it, because we've only got this week,
Can I make a motion?
you can't, we're out of quorum. You
Answer.
can't, we're out of quorum.
All right.
Can't do it. So, but I'm just asking you from you to me.
Just for future reference, now that I'm settled in, if you just give me a couple of days to get back to you, I can, in advance of the meetings, I can always have like an updated budget for you so you guys can follow along on your
Okay.
spendings. And I'm sure that would be
I
helpful.
very rarely ever got one. What I'd like to do is to get one every meeting, to have one that I could look at
Sure.
and give the community.
Just give me a couple of days before, but I can
No, I
definitely,
understand that you're new, you're just starting out. In fact, I'd like to see you afterwards because I
Sure.
got a few things I'd like to say. So I think that's all I got. That good, yeah. Yes, there will be one. Yes, there will be until we can get it fixed, till we get the statistics worked out, how we're going to do it. We're going to have a subcommittee meeting. I'm hoping sometime next week, and I'll let you all know. Okay, thank you all for coming. What time is it, please? It is
10:02.
10 o'clock.
Wait, your pen.
And yes,
Hold on.
Thank you. Good to see you.
I'm going to make you the new chair.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Oh, really?
All right. Thank you.
Well, you don't have to. This is our choice. It's our choice. Yeah. I don't object to anybody not. Where? No. They choose to do that because they're dealing with cars. We're sticking our head or some getting in somebody's car or something. That's why we're choosing to do it. I've not required them to do it or said anything. They do what they want to do as far as that's concerned. You can wear it or you don't wear it. That's why. I do it because I want the seniors to know that I'm trying to be. I got the shot because I was dealing with seniors, not because I wanted it, because you don't know how many of them. Did you get your shot? Which one did you get? You know, this is, I'm wearing out.